There was no hell, there was no heaven, but the idea of heaven and hell existed with other religions. So Jesus comes along and declares himself a son of God, which goes against Jewish ideas because God didn't like the idea a long time ago and wiped them out in the flood. No more sons of God, for that's not going to happen anymore. And yet this guy is going around declaring himself a son of God, and all you got to do is believe in him, and you got life forever. That's a good message for the Jews who figure when you're done, you're kaput. And remember also the Jews had experienced Egyptian religion, which had afterlives, and all you had to do to avoid not going on was get past a nasty crocodile, know the right answers when you're asked them, otherwise this crocodile will eat your soul. So the Jews have been exposed to afterlives and all that, but their belief was this is it. So Jesus comes along and said, good news, no it isn't. All you have to do is believe in me and you can live forever. So the message of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John is all peace, love, and good vibes. And that message begins to happen around year 0, and I've really got to speed this up. But around the year 70, the Romans get ticked off with the Jewish people who are just getting uprising all the time, and they send 60,000 troops to Jerusalem, and they basically wipe out the Jews. The price of slaves in Rome fell to less than 10 drachmas, according to Herodotus. And any Jews that weren't slaves, they'd be good food for lions or, whatever. Their lives were worthless. A lot of Jewish people met a sad fate around 70. But a group of the Levites that had holed up in the mountains, they, a long time ago, they survived to the end, and they left us the Dead Sea Scroll. They had moved there a long time ago when the Ark was moved. That's a long story. I can't get into that. Anyhow, most of the Jews were wiped out way back then in 70. But what happens is that over time the Roman Empire collapses. Gotta make sure I'm still recording here. So that by around 300, the Roman Empire is on the decline, and a dude named Paul has usurped the Christian religion. And if you look at the New Testament, everything's all peace, love, and good vibes with Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, but suddenly with James and Peter, things take a nasty turn about why that Jesus died for you. That's like, it's just a whole other thing, a whole other story, and that story is taken up by the bishops in Rome, and they have a council. Eventually the Rome declares, what's left of Rome declares Christianity the official religion by the year 400. And the church is in charge, and they slowly take over as much as they can of what's left of the Roman Empire. And they need a Bible, so they have a council in Nicaea, and they choose what books are going to be in the Bible, and most of them are dictated by root of Paul. And his message is one which is kind of a brutal message. The other thing is that they needed a Bible, and this is where all this hell and stuff enters in. I'll make sure I'm still recording. Yeah, I'm still recording, hey. So they turned to a guy named Jerome, and Jerome, his source of books to translate would have been the library at Alexandria, and the books he would have used would have been written in Greek, because he would have not been very good at Aramaic. So he encountered words for grave, and they were the first ones to be turned into hell. If you go to the Latin Vulgate, there's hell there. There might be hell there 100 times. But there was no hell. It's just a word for grave. But in the Latin Bible, the words for hell become introduced into the Latin Bible. And then he comes across a word, diabolos, in Greek, D-I-A-B-O-L-O-S, which means adversary or opponent or somebody who doesn't agree with you, but in my opinion a better word to be a heckler, somebody who they're not like a real enemy, they're just somebody who doesn't agree with your opinion. So that word diabolos, Jerome, he left it but changed the O to a U, and so in the Latin Bible you get diabolus. That's important because when King James came along and they translated it, diabolus was in there and they didn't know what to do with it. but the concept of a devil is very common around that time. Remember Hieronymus Bosch and the Garden of Earthly Delights? And also by this time, the Islamic religion had come into being in the year 800, and the Qu'ran is all about hell. Everything is about hell. I'm running out of time, I gotta stop. This book would be banned in Canada. The Qu'ran would be banned in Canada as hate literature if it didn't have religious protection in this day and age. It is a horrific book. Salman Rushdie called it the Satanic Verses. If you ever read the Qu'ran, it's just threat after threat. How if you don't do certain things, your skin will be burned off, then it'll regrow, and it'll be burned off, and it'll regrow. Things like that, where people who kill for God will be rewarded with lying on couches in fresh breezes, face to face with the most beautiful young boys and the most beautiful young virgins. This is all in the Qu'ran. You should read it. So my point here is that Jerome created the idea of hell, and then you have Jesus. He encounters somebody called Satan. That's not a person. That's, again, when Jerome came across a word. This Greek, whoever did the Greek translation didn't understand a word in Aramaic that sounds like Satan. And it's the same as diabolos. It means like a heckler, somebody who just doesn't agree with you. It's not a proper name of a person. It's a description of a person that just doesn't agree with you. Like if Jesus is out preaching, somebody says, "Oh, you're full of crap." And Jesus says, "Well, why would you know?" He says, "Well, I've been around." And in the Bible it says, I've been walking the earth. I know what I'm talking about. I've been around, and you're just full of crap. So, because I have to wind this up, am I still recording? Hey, I'm still recording. I could go on and on and on. Really, really quickly, the translations by Jerome were bad, and these proper names, Satan and the devil, never existed. They don't exist in the Jewish Bible. And if you get a modern Bible, like the Revised Standard Version, in the Old Testament they've removed all the references to hell and the devil, and they haven't removed Satan in the New Testament, because apparently this is a new idea in the last 10 years that only a lot of really well-read Bible scholars have cottoned on to. Oh yeah, that sounds like this Aramaic word, and it just means somebody that doesn't agree with you. So there never was a Satan, there never was a devil, and hell is an idea that seems to have been mostly dreamed up by the religion of Islam. So by the time the 13th century came along and the Crusades happened, the Roman Catholic Church had learned of the religion of Islam, and they were far advanced over the Roman Catholics. The Muslims, they were into math and some sciences and very clean, very modern architecture, all that kind of stuff. This was a real revelation to the Roman Catholics, who were basically still living in a Stone Age existence. And they would have become aware of this hell message, and it was a good message, and quite rapidly people were being burned alive to change their opinion about Jesus. And in 1229, the Roman Catholic Church declared itself to be the direct word of God on earth, just like the Prophet Muhammad declared himself to be the direct word on earth. That's a big difference between the Bible and the Qu'ran. The Qu'ran says this is the exact word of God by way it's spoken through the prophet. The prophet is just the mouth yakking, but it's the word of God. That's how this book puts it. This book has 10 commandments, and it's the story of the Jews, and in the back I have the New Testament. I don't have more time than this. I should rehearse this, but I don't. I'm such an effing motor mouth. I did write a book. It's not about that. It's about something else. This is theshapeofgod.com if you want to check that one out. So I don't know what else I can tell you. I'm an atheist. I'm a physicist. I always wanted to be a physicist. I have a theory about the speed of light, which is at electronspeed.tumblr.com. Electron, that's a particle. Electron speed, all one word, .tumblr, that's a Yahoo website.com. And you read my ideas about that. I'm going to shut the F up. My name's Butch. I'm 72 years old. My hobbies are everything. I'm like that Sheldon character on Big Bang Theory. That's what people tell me. and I don't know how to shut up, so the only way to shut me up is I'm just going to turn the camera off and toodaloo. Am I there yet?